Dear Ate, this one is for you. The eldest daughter who always had to be strong. You carried the weight of everyone else's needs, the keeper of family peace, the role model, the helper, the second parent. And sometimes you were the one who was told, just be grateful, while your needs went unseen. And if you ever wondered, when is it my turn to be taken care of? This video is your love letter. When we shared this post in Instagram, it reached about 1.1 million views with more than 23,500 shares and 16,600 saves. Why? Because so many Filipinos read these words and whispered, this is me, this is my story. Ate, you are not alone. And today we're going to talk about why this letter struck a chord and how inner child healing can help us finally lay this weight down. Magandang umaga, hapon or gabi po sa inyong lahat. I'm Dr. Nera, a Filipino-American clinical psychologist dedicated to helping Filipinos worldwide heal generational trauma through inner child healing, ancestral wisdom, and kapwa psychology. I was born and raised in the motherland in the Philippines, and I immigrated to the US as a young adult, and I later pursued graduate studies in San Francisco. As a first-gen immigrant, I also bring both my personal and professional insight into the healing journey because I grew up with anxiety and trauma, and I deeply understand what it means to save these challenges without any resources, without any support. And all of my lived experiences, this inspired me to create this channel, the Brown Psych channel, and also an Instagram page for the Brown Psych. These spaces make healing accessible while honoring our culture, heritage, and our community. So here is the letter that we posted on Instagram. Dear Ate, you were the first to be called strong, but no one asked how much it cost you. You were still learning your times table when your mother handed you her sorrow, still growing your own bones when you were asked to steady the house. And your father may be gone, maybe in the room, but never really with you, left spaces you were too small to fill. So she turned to you, not because she was cruel, but because she was tired, abandoned, still unfinished herself. And you rose. You became the listener, the helper, the keeper of secrets too heavy for your age, the one who stayed quiet so others could rest, the one who knew not to cry because someone had to be okay. They called you Ate with pride, but never saw the grief behind your eyes. You were just a girl, but they made you believe you were grown. You were the one she leaned on because he wasn't there, emotionally, physically, or faithfully. The one she confided in because her partner was out chasing some unfinished part of his manhood. And you, child that you were, stood in as her steady one, her second self. But no one asked, who steadied you? Who held your sorrow? Who told you that your questions mattered? You learned to mother others long before you learned to mother yourself. This is not about blame, not of your mother who was drowning, not of your father who disappeared, not of your culture which handed you a title without the tools, and definitely not of you. This is about seeing clearly, about unlearning the lie that love must be earned through labor, that your worth is measured by how little you need, how much you carry, how quickly you say yes. You were never meant to hold everyone else's world at the cost of your own. But still, you did, and you do. And no one taught you what it meant to held back, to rest, to ask without guilt, and to be the child you never got to be. There is a kind of grief that comes with being the one who always understood, a grief with no name, no eulogy, just clenched jaws, tight shoulders, a lifetime of putting yourself last and calling it love. But you can stop now. You can let that little girl in you rest. You don't have to be the strong one today. You don't have to apologize for softness. You don't have to earn your way into belonging. You belong simply because you exist. So come, lay it down. The secrets, the responsibilities, the silence. Let someone else be grown today. And if no one else knows, let it be you, the wiser older ate who came back for the girl inside. The one who says, I'm here, you're safe, we've got this. Again, when we shared this letter on Instagram, so many people responded. Why do you think it resonated so deeply? Because it named the unspoken truth that ate carried burdens that were too heavy for her age. It gave words to a collective people with grief many of us didn't know we were allowed to name. It honored the strength of eldest daughters without denying the cost. And it reminded us that behind every strong ate is a little girl who deserves to rest. So let's take this further because today I want to break down why it touched so many and how we can reclaim joy through inner child healing. Because behind every strong ate is a little girl who had to grow up too soon, learned that love meant responsibility, that to belong she had to be useful, that crying wasn't allowed, but helping always was. And inner child healing lets us revisit her and finally say, you deserve to be cared for too. Drop the word healing in the comments if this hits home. Ate often feels guilty for resting or saying no, and this guilt is cultural, colonial, not personal weakness. Inner child healing comforts the younger ate who was scolded for saying no, reminding her she's safe and still loved. And if that's you, I created something gentle to support you, and it's free. It's called Navigating Boundaries, a Filipino inner child's companion to healing guilt. You'll find it linked in the description. And in many of our Filipino families, ate carries not just responsibility, but also the expectation of success. She's told to get the good grades, migrate, send remittance, and make the family proud. And when she struggles, there's no space for her pain. She learns to hide it, smile through it, achieve more, and try harder. And this is where Kapwa psychology offers healing because Kapwa reminds us we are more than our productivity. And if we need a soft way to reconnect to that worth, download Pagbabalik Loob, 5 basic sacred steps to begin your Filipino inner child healing journey. Link is also in the description. Here's also the part that ate rarely admits. Being strong has a cost. Panic attacks, sleeping late at night, or sleepless nights even, depression, exhaustion, a deep loneliness from always being the one others lean on, but never knowing who to lean on yourself. And I know this personally because even with an older kuya, I was the eldest girl. I was the ate. I was the confidant of my mama and my titas. And I carried everyone's secrets and burdens. And it shaped me into the therapist, yes, but it also weighed me down. And this is where collective healing becomes powerful. In the Hilom Collective, I've seen eldest daughters finally exhale. They find community, validation, and sisterhood with other cycle breakers who know what it means to be strong and tired of being strong alone. And here's the final truth. You don't have to abandon our family to take care of yourself, but you do have to write a new story. One where ate, one where we are allowed to rest, to play, to heal, and to dream for ourselves. And this is radical because many of us were raised to believe that healing is selfish, but healing is actually ancestral. Pre colonial Philippines honored babaylans, healers, and women leaders who carried wisdom with community, not against it. And that's why I created Discover the Pre Colonial Philippines ebook. It is an ebook that my daughter and I lovingly made for you. Yes, my daughter is an amazing creative. She's actually going into the animation world, and she helped me create this ebook. So I'm so excited to share it with you. It is a gentle invitation to remember our roots, not as nostalgia, but as memory work. Link is in the description. Ate, if you're ready to start writing your new story, comment now. Or you can comment, it's my turn now in the comments below. Dear Ate, strength was your survival, but softness is your birthright. Again, growing up as the eldest girl, I was the one everyone confided in. And I carried them because I thought that's what ate does. Looking back, I see how those years shaped me into my calling of being a psychologist. But I also learned that to truly hold space for others, I also had to make space for myself too. And that's where my healing began. And that's why I also created the Hilom Collective, which is our membership for Filipinos ready to break generational trauma through inner child healing, ancestral wisdom, and kapwa psychology. And if you're an ate, tired of being strong alone, this is your space to be held. Inside our membership, we practice healing together, and we do this through our weekly events. You will also find on demand live videos there about inner child healing and about kapwa psychology, ancestral wisdom. So this space is for feeling feeling no guilt, no shame, no pretending. Just kapwa, remembrance, and community. You will find the link in our description. All right, so now that we've unpacked the invisible burden of being the eldest daughter, I want to take this even further with you because Ate's story is not just about one role. It's about our collective wound, the wound where we carry as Filipinos, but we rarely talk about. In my next video, I have this video called Every Filipino Must Watch This, the trauma we don't talk about, and we'll open the bigger conversation there about the hidden pains passed down through generations and how healing our inner child is the first step toward breaking the cycle. Maraming salamat. This is Dr. Net signing out, reminding you that our healing is our resistance. I will see you in the next one.